There is a larger and larger proportion of men out there that are really suffering and struggling. Because opportunities for men are just not there the way they used to be. And granted, I'm all about the fact that it should be equal and that you should be able to have opportunities for anybody that really wants the opportunity. But it's almost turned around now to a point where opportunities for women are plentiful. And opportunities for men, well, there really aren't any. Now, let me qualify exactly what I'm saying here so that I'm clear. I'm not talking about the average smart man, okay? I'm not talking about the average guy that has that college degree, that has that high intellect and that ability. There's still lots of opportunities out there for those kinds of men. But just like across society and across everything, there are men that are just not as smart. And that's not meant as a slam. I consider myself in that category of men that are just really not that super hyper talented and smart to where they can run a hedge fund or they can start a computer tech business. The Elon Musk's type men, the men that are really just on their game, are not the ones affected. But who is affected, honestly, is your average working Joe. So what's happening? Men, they're checking out. And now, the pandemic had quite a bit to do with that. A lot of people checked out, but some men just never went back to their job again because men are not as appreciated as they used to be. And the opportunities for the average Joe, the average worker, the average guy that turns a wrench, that may not be the super smart genius of the world, but is a hard worker and is more than willing to put in 60, 70 hours a week to make things happen for himself. Those opportunities, they're gone. How do I know this? How do I know that most men are in this funk or working jobs that they really are not, they never had any intention of working in the first place? Because I'm one of them. There are college educated guys out there. My degree was in psychology. Am I working in psychology? No. I'm working at Amazon. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad to have the money coming in. But men have been basically almost neutered to a point where their drive and their self-esteem is really being impacted. Most people are going to look at this topic and go, you know what? You're full of crap. That's imaginary. That's not true. Well, because I don't hear about it, right? Well, you don't hear about it because most of these men are not out there causing trouble. They have switched roles with their wives. Their wives are going out. They've got the high-powered opportunities. And nothing against women. Please, don't get me wrong. This is just geared towards a men's issue. I'm not trying to slam women, so don't twist it up, okay? But they've flipped roles. They're staying home. But you know what these guys are doing? A lot of them are taking pain medications for body aches and pains, and they're playing video games. Why? Because it's easier to stay in the comfort of your own home and do what's familiar and escape what's going on by popping a pill and playing a video game than it is to face it. And the younger generation, from the ages of 15 to say 25, they're all well into games. Why do men like to play games? Young men like to play games? Because they can achieve something within the game that is attainable. where they can't achieve it in society as much any longer. And the guys that are staying home and playing the games and stuff like that, they're not doing what the women who stay home would normally do, right? They're not taking care of the house responsibilities. They're not taking care of the kids. They're doing the minimum just to get by so that they can continue on, hiding away from the fact that they really don't feel like they have a whole lot of self-worth anymore, because society, mainstream society, if you're not affluent, you're just a working class Joe, and you may not be the smartest tool in the toolbox, and you can't come up with the greatest new widget that's going to make you a millionaire, your self-esteem is gone. Your prestige is gone. Men have been neutered. Now, a lot of you might think, well, he's got some axe to grind. He just got off work and some woman got the job he wanted or something like that. That's not the case at all. And I am not. I will repeat it again. I am not bashing women, okay? All I am saying is that there is a male-specific problem that has happened where men used to have, and it used to be the other way around. 100 years ago, 75 years ago, 50 years ago, men had all the opportunities and women didn't. And so I'm not saying that it's not fair to men. I'm saying that men, without that strong sense of self-worth, without the sense that they're actually doing something, are dropping out. And it's a topic that is rarely talked about because men don't like to talk about it. It's embarrassing. And all it does when we talk about it is basically take our sense of self-worth down even further than it was before. The job market today is really not geared. It used to be, let me put it this way, it used to be that you could get a job and not be the smartest, but maybe you had a talent or something that you could work at. Putting carburetors on an engine, let's say that. And maybe you had no idea how to do it, but after time and after repetition, after you do it so long, you get really good at it. And you start really caring about that job. And then the opportunity used to be that because you could do that carburetor, maybe they're going to go ahead and train you on the transmission now. And maybe after they train you on the transmission, they're going to show you how to put the whole engine in. And before you know it, working 50, 60, 70 hours a week, you are walking home with more money in your pocket to provide for your family. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that women are providing for their family as well. I think it's awesome that women have that opportunities. But I'm saying that as the increase for women's opportunities has gone up, there's been a sharp decrease for men in opportunities along those lines within that type of a working environment. So you're the guy that, got trained. You have a sense of self-worth. You started out just not knowing what you're doing and putting carburetors on cars. Now you're putting entire fucking engines in vehicles, and people are coming to you because you are now the expert. What's happened? You have a sense of self-worth. Those days are gone. So you say, men need to quit complaining and quit bitching and stuff like that and just actually go out there and work hard. Well, most men look at it like it's a game. And at the end of the day, they play a game that's rigged where they never really get anywhere. And eventually they get pushed out of the system. They're not making as much money as they used to. The average Joe skilled labor guy is stuck in a rut where the boss may promise quite a few things, but it doesn't happen for men anymore. It just simply doesn't. Men are neutered. It's pretty sad. And I don't think it's going to change. I don't foresee it changing. Because I foresee AI coming in and taking over a lot of these menial jobs where men could start somewhere and work their way up into something even greater. AI is going to take those jobs. And where does that leave us, the average Joe? Well, it leaves us escaping into video games and escaping the pain by popping some pills. It's pretty sad, but it's true. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Everybody have a good day.